And you are watching Turn to the Stars, and I'm an intuitive astrologer from Turn to the Stars, and today I'm going to be talking about primarily about the new moon in Aries, and also about the conjunction or the combination, this huge theme of Venus, Mars, and Saturn all in Aquarius. And also, I'm going to talk about the Great Reset with the stellium in Aquarius, and which is primarily the beginning of the age of Aquarius. As I said before, we have Mars, we have Saturn, and we have Venus all together, and they are forming this difficult, challenging uh, conversation or aspect with the north node of the moon, which is the place that we are meant to go at this time to find the most joy and happiness and peace. And it's also, though, squaring the south node, which refers to the past and the shadows. Scorpio is the shadows and the past and the things that maybe haunt us from the past, or the things that we're realizing that we really want to change about our lives. So I'm also going to be talking about the Jupiter in the applying conjunction to Neptune, which is going to be exact on April 12th. And I'm going to just review the days between this Saturday, moving toward the new moon, which is on April 1st at exactly 2:26 a.m. Eastern Daytime. So this is a very strong initiating type of energy, because Aries is a fire sign. It is a sign that is cardinal, so it likes to be initiating things, starting new things. It is the signature of spring in the northern hemisphere. So I'm going to just talk about where we have some influences that are important for us to be aware of over the course of the next week. So this Saturday, April 2nd, we have the moon moves into Taurus and it squares Pluto in the morning. So from an emotional standpoint, there is some challenges to let go, let God, to release, and allow yourself to emotionally go with the changes that are coming up in your life. And on Sunday, April 3rd, we have the moon still in Taurus, and it is going to conjunct Uranus, meaning it's moving right next to Uranus and Taurus. And Saturn and Mars will square the north node and the south node, and that aspect is tightening up, so it's becoming stronger and stronger. And then on Monday, April 4th, we have the moon conjunct the north node in Taurus, and it's in a strong fixed square, as I was talking about earlier, with Saturn and Mars in Aquarius. So the moon in Taurus is also going to trine Pluto in Capricorn. So even though we are going through these growing pains, we're going through these challenging times in relating to each other, and acting in a way that is responsible to ourselves, but also to other people. So we also now on Tuesday, April 5th, the moon's going to move into Gemini, which is a lot lighter energy and more carefree type of energy, but it's going to square Venus, as Venus has just moved into Pisces. Venus is the goddess of love. Venus holds the signature and the energy of beauty and value and so, but she's going to square Venus in Pisces. So it's challenging to get out of your head and into your heart. And the next day we have April 6th, Wednesday, April 6th. The moon is still in Gemini, and it's going to square Neptune, and it's going to square Jupiter in Pisces. So this is a time where you might have a lot of anxiety, might feel like you're repeating some old patterns of pleasing everybody around you just because it's part of what you feel you need to do to survive at this time. And then we look to Thursday, April 7th, and so the moon moves into Cancer and trines Venus in Pisces on April 7th, Thursday, and again Saturday, Saturn, and is a very tight square to the North Node in Taurus and Neptune in Pisces. So this is a very strong trine to the South Node in Scorpio, and sextiles the North Node in Taurus. So there's a lot of energy, a lot of support, a lot of understanding, a lot of resolve being poured in to help us overcome these things from the past, which, as I said earlier, the South Node in Scorpio is a very strong placement for the South Node because it wants us to not depend on others so much for our survival, but to learn how to build that for ourselves. Taurus, the North Node, holds the signature of money and values and sense of worth, and so it's the moon is going to trine the South Node. So there's some really supportive, nurturing type of energy that's on our paths on that day. Then we come to Friday, April 8th. The moon's going to be in Cancer again, and it's going to square Chiron, the wounded healer. The Sun and Mercury are all in Aries. Mercury's in Aries, and it begins to square Pluto. Mars and Saturn are still in a strong square to the South Node and the North Node in Scorpio. The South Node's in Scorpio, the North Node's in Taurus. Then Saturday, April 19th, the moon's going to move into Cancer, is still in Cancer, and it trines Jupiter, large, and Neptune in Pisces. So it's helping us to get some clarity on this chaos that we're experiencing right now. Moon in Cancer squares Mercury in Aries and opposes Pluto in Capricorn. So this is a pretty transitional day. And also we see the moon in Cancer in conjunct Mars and Saturn in Aquarius. So, we are going to be going through, we keep wondering when these things are going to stop that we've been experiencing. And it's going to be another couple weeks before this begins to sort of break up or let go. And so I want to talk now about that new moon in Aries, which happens on April 1st at 2:26 Eastern Daytime in the AM. So early in the morning, very early into this day. So we're going to have a new moon at 11 degrees of Aries, the initiator, the fighter, the warrior, the one who says, let's go, let's charge, I'm bored, I need to do something different. But then we have Chiron closely holding this energy of the Aries energy. So there's a lot of wounding that each of us are being made aware of within ourselves. And also, though, how we can change that, how we can heal that, and how we can put ourselves first and proceed and move ahead. New moons are the time where we begin new things. And we just came up off of the spring equinox on March 20th. And then we have this new moon, April 1st, that is surging us to push ahead. And so there's a close association with this new moon with Mars in Aquarius, because Mars is the ruler of Aries. So, and we see again, we still see Venus, we still see Saturn and Mars all traveling together. So there's this strong inner urge to push, to initiate, to start new things. And just a little bit more about this Venus, Mars, and Aquarius. A lot of people are saying that this is the mark of the beginning of the age of Aquarius. So it's a great reset. We've had several different signatures amongst the planet that are indicating that this is a reset, a great reset. If we look at the chart right now, we have on this new moon, we have Mercury, Moon, Sun, and Chiron all together, standing tight as a group. And then we also have Mars, Saturn, and Venus. Mars, movement, activity in the sign of Aquarius amongst groups and community and global, globally. And Saturn says, wait a minute, there's restrictions. There's something that we need to slow down and focus on as a whole. And Venus in Aquarius tells us that somehow with Mars and Saturn and Venus, that this could be causing a lot of limitations within relationships due to factors from the past. Because the south node of the moon is also in Scorpio, which is talking and reminding us of how important it is for us to look at this past only so that we do not repeat the same things we did before, and that we do focus on identifying what's most important to us and how we're going to get there with that Mars energy. So as I said before, Venus and Mars in Aquarius signature is wants us, the inspiration is to envision the future. It wants us to take an objective analysis. It reminds us about liberation, being independent, and doing things differently than we've ever done them before. It brings into the focus the World Wide Web. It brings into focus the global consciousness, science and technology, enlightenment. Aquarius is a sign that is detached, so it doesn't want any attachments. And so I believe one of the signatures of this combination between Mars and Venus is to detach from the known, the familiar, the past, and prepare for a bigger, wider future. Because these planets are traveling together, so it can, like I said earlier, cause relationships to break up. And so with this energy of Aquarius, it's saying detach and look at this from a standpoint, what's best for everybody here? What are the things that I'm not seeing in my relationships that have to do with past promises or past, the things you talked about that you'd valued so much? And one of the other things that I want to talk about again is the Jupiter, Neptune in Pisces. So what that tells us is that there's going to be at least a few more weeks where there's a large amount of chaos. Jupiter is large and Neptune is chaos. And so we're going to go through dips up and down with that energy. Venus is beginning to break away because it moves into Pisces, like I said earlier. And so we're going to have new experiences, new people, new ways of doing relationships. And people are looking for their tribe, for the people that they consider their family. And there's a great need to plant seeds for a new future. Okay, so Taurus, the north node, meaning the direction we are meant to be focused on at this time, is in Taurus, which talks about self-sufficiency. And so I think one of the messages is that we need to come into a relationship with ourselves right now and really think about what's best for us individually and break free from making any commitments and ask ourselves, am I able to help myself at this time? And so those are some of the big questions with these combinations. And I want to add that the Sabian symbol, which were written by Elsie, who worked with, I believe it was Edgar Casey, and she held up a degrees and a sign, a zodiac sign to her head for all 29, 30 degrees of the zodiac. And the vision or the picture that was painted in her mind, she wrote down about it. And so this new moon is in, like I said before, Aries at 11. And so we go to 12 degrees of Aries. And so here's the picture of this, a flock of wild geese. And it tells us that we ought to take our cue from the wild geese. When they fly in formation, they take turns in leading the way. So they work together. They support each other. When one gets tired or sick, another takes the lead. It wants us to spread our wings and seek freedom, taking note of seasonal vibrations around us, and that we should remember to be mindful of our responsibilities to both ourselves and others. And so that's kind of interesting with this Saturn being right in the middle of Mars and Venus at this time. So I believe the message here is to be a part of a group by contributing and promoting the joys of togetherness while keeping a sense of independence. And geese are primarily known for forming lifelong partnerships, so marriage or partnership may indeed be a consideration in this situation. So Aquarian ideals of brotherhood are very prominent right now, and attunement to planetary rhythms. So we're feeling the shock, we're feeling the limitations that are present all over the world at this time. And we should primarily be focused on group activity and support. The choreography, meaning how this is unveiling or playing out just like a dance, the choreography, flying in the slipstream. Everyone, the geese are all following the leader without knowing where they're going, never knowing where to land or where to ground themselves, taking off on wild goose chases. So this energy is very prevalent right now, and so we're meant to, with Saturn and Aquarius in the midst of this configuration, manage situations. Think about what's best for all concerned, what's best for the family, what's best for the group, what's best for the community, and what's best for the world beyond our individual, independent consciousness to the global consciousness. So there's also a Sabian symbol that has a message for us around the 22 degrees, Saturn being at 22 degrees. And this is one of children maturing and learning how to not take things for granted and realizing that no one's the same, that we all have our different goals, our different visions. So it's about gaining a greater appreciation and remembering to be grateful and to be aware. And as I said before, with the North Node in Taurus, this is a time to emotionally nurture and hold ourselves individually up, to do the things that we need to do to be sustainable. The South Node in Scorpio, if you're feeling these feelings of loss, of betrayal, or abandonment, it's the South Node is what is kicking people out of this tapestry so that they do head toward and want to gain individuality. So we are really going through some very, very tough times, both economically, politically, with inflation, and with total fear of being fed consciously by totalitarianism. So it's going to be easy, it's very easy for leaders to control and countries to control people if they are in fear and in terror. So it's what's most important for us to do, and this is what some of the messages are from these planetary configurations, is that we need to believe in a spiritual, hold our spiritual intentions, uh, hold our hearts in a place of grace, take action from a place of grace. Imagine that there's a rug and we're playing, like a group of children are playing on this rug. And so it's safe and warm. But even though we have all this pain around us and separation, and it's really hard to change with all these fixed signs showing up. So when we're in a crowded place, and if you could just imagine this for a moment, imagine you're in a crowded place and that your method of travel is about to leave. Tell yourself, I will manage the situation, and remind myself to take a breath and just breathe. I will manage my situations. I'm already there. That's the secret to manifesting. Imagining yourself already there, even though you're standing amongst this group where everybody is pushing. And so imagine you're flying with the geese. Imagine that you're free and you're flying freely. And imagine you're in perspective. That'll help you get through this chaos. And as I said before, Aries is about initiation. And we're going to have Saturn squaring the north and the south node. And you've heard me talk about this on past shows. And this gives us a sense of many responsibilities, and that you might have this feeling inside, I need to do more. I need to work harder. So there's tension, and this tension is producing fear of not getting through the challenges that are in front of you. So I had this song that I got to look at, and it was after I was on looking at something on Facebook, and all of a sudden this song just popped up, and it's by Casting Crowns, and it says, the title of it is Scars in Heaven. There won't be any. Here are some of the lyrics. This is a time of healing old scars, and the only scars in heaven won't belong to me and you. The road we walk is anything but easy. Even the pain feels right here. It's very, very far away. All the old is being made new. What are the hands that are holding you now? This is the big question. What are the hands that are holding you? So let's look toward the light together. There's no such thing as broken. The only scars in heaven are the hands that hold you now. So, as I said earlier, the main theme that we're all dealing with right now is one of mass chaos, but it's also of healing ourselves, our hearts, and identifying all the good things about taking an adventure, all the good things that you as a person are learning on this path. And remember, stay with the flock of geese. Follow the leader until he's tired, and then we get a new leader. So whoever that is within your group or your community, simply a message that we're all in this together, and that we're all walking through this chaotic time together. And so it's a reminder that we should stay together like the geese. All right, everyone, I want to say thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be away for a week, so I'm doing this a little bit early so that you have it to help you with understanding these processes. I know this last week, I knew that Mars was in square to Uranus, and it really helped me to know that when my computer was not working right, when the internet was going in and out, that this was normal, because Uranus is about the web, about technology. And so we have had some real turbulence. And so I had to figure out how to do something else before I went back to trying to accomplish what I was doing. So everyone, that's the power and that's the beauty of us astrology, is it brings this understanding of when to go, when to stop, when to try something different. And primarily at this time, we're all meant to be trying something different that leads us on a path toward abundance, that leads us on the path toward feeling safe and secure. So again, everyone, I want to say thanks for tuning in to Turn to the Stars. Don't forget, Aries, it's your birthday month. And so there's a 20% off coupon on my website under 20% off birthday coupon. And so it saves you, I believe, $32 off a 1 hour reading. So everyone, thanks again. Take good care, and I'll see you when I get back on the 3rd.